Tragedy on Scottish farm. Veteran farmer trampled to death by protective cow while feeding calf. An 83-year-old farmer suffered fatal injuries in a horrific and tragic accident after being attacked by a cow while feeding its newborn calf on his farm near Balnurin, Inverness-shire. Fraser Johnstone, a lifelong cattle farmer and a father of two, was tending to a calf and feeding it colostrum when its protective mother suddenly turned aggressive. The female cow pinned him against a wall, violently threw him to the ground, and repeatedly trampled on his chest and body. Now, it's time to dig into this one. Let's break it down on the AI podcast.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a story that really challenges our ideas about risk experience.
And what unforeseeable actually means.
Exactly. We're looking at someone with a lifetime of skill facing this completely unexpected, tragic accident.
It's a real head scratcher.
It is. How can a task done countless times by an expert just turn fatal with no obvious fault? That's the big question today.
And to get into that, we're using the findings from an official fatal accident inquiry. Right. So our mission is really to pull out the key insights from that investigation.
Right, not just what happened, but what the official conclusion was about, well, the nature of it all.
It's a deep look at the limits of control, really.
Okay, let's get into it. The central figure here is an 83-year-old Scottish farmer, Fraser Johnstone. And you need to picture this. A man who spent his entire life with livestock. A proper cattleman, decades of experience.
Yeah, over half a century, hands-on.
So your first thought is, okay, this guy knows cattle, he knows the risks.
Absolutely.
And the incident itself, well, it happened during something incredibly routine for him.
Almost mundane, you'd think.
He was feeding colostrum at first milk to a newborn calf on his own farm near Balnurin, Inverness-shire.
And that colostrum feeding, it's vital, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the calf's immunity.
Oh, absolutely crucial. So it's important work, but, everyday work for a farmer. Needs close contact.
Yeah, and this is where it gets, well, deeply unsettling. As Mr. Johnstone went near the calf, the mother cow just turned. Completely suddenly, became incredibly aggressive. The inquiry actually used the words ferocious attack.
Wow, ferocious. So not just a nudge.
No, a full-on assault. The inquiry details are quite stark.
What did they say happened?
It pinned him against a wall.
Yeah.
And threw him down.
Yeah.
And then repeatedly trampled his chest and body.
Oh, that's brutal. The sheer force. It's hard to grasp.
And yet, what's just astounding, despite what they later called catastrophic injury,
yeah,
he managed to get out of the field. He got back to his house.
At 83, after that.
That level of resilience, that strength.
Yeah.
It's remarkable.
Truly incredible willpower. So he gets back to the house.
Alerts his wife. She saw, visible bruising and bleeding around his mouth.
Right. So the signs were immediate.
They called an ambulance straight away. Rushed him to Regmore Hospital in Inverness.
For emergency care.
Yes. But even with that attention, his condition worsened very quickly. He suffered a heart attack.
Oh, no.
Had to be put on life support. And then, tragically, the family faced that awful decision.
To withdraw treatment.
Yeah. And he passed away shortly after from the injuries. It just underscores how severe that internal trauma must have been. Multi-organ failure, despite his initial strength.
And the post-mortem confirmed that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Multi-organ failure, severe crush injuries, those multiple rib fractures.
Devastating impact, yes.
So given how severe it was and how unexpected, the next step was a formal inquiry.
Right, a fatal accident inquiry held at Inverness Sheriff Court, led by Sheriff Eiland MacDonald.
And these inquiries, they're not really about blame, are they? More about establishing facts.
Exactly. Understanding the circumstances, maybe preventing future incidents, though not always. So the big question is, what did this inquiry conclude?
Yeah, what was the official finding?
Well, this is the crucial part. The sheriff concluded his death was a tragic and unforeseeable accident.
Unforeseeable?
Yes. And critically, the inquiry found absolutely no faults or defects in the working practices or systems on his farm.
Wait, no faults at all?
None. And maybe even more telling, they issued no recommendations for change.
Wow, so basically nothing could have reasonably prevented it, according to the inquiry.
That's the core takeaway. It pushes back against our need to find a mistake, a reason.
It really hammers home that paradox we started with, utterly devastating yet seemingly unpreventable.
Precisely. And the sheriff made a point of highlighting Mr. Johnstone's experience.
Right, she mentioned that specifically.
She did. In the written judgment, she said, I'm quoting here, he was an experienced cattle farmer and the risks associated with cattle handling would have been well known to him.
So acknowledging he knew the dangers.
Yes. She concluded, "This is a tragic accident for which I extend my condolences to Mr. Johnstone's family for their loss." And the Procurator Fiscal, Andy Shanks, that's kind of like a public prosecutor overseeing these things in Scotland, he acknowledged the findings too, stressing how thorough the inquiry was in getting all the facts out.
It paints a picture of a well-run farm, an experienced hand, and just terrible, unpredictable misfortune.
Exactly.
And the community reaction, that fundraiser, it says a lot, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. Raising 1,300 pounds for Chest, Heart, and Stroke Scotland in his memory shows the respect he had locally. Real support there.
Yeah. So, thinking about this whole case, what really jumps out at you?
For me,
Yeah.
it's that sheer unpredictability. The fact that decades of experience couldn't foresee or prevent this specific moment.
Yeah, that hits hard. Or maybe it's that stoicism, his resilience right after the attack.
That's powerful, too. That initial strength is incredible.
It really is. For me, though, it's the unpredictability that lingers. It undermines that feeling that we can control everything if we're just careful enough, experienced enough.
Right.
So what does this all mean for you listening in? This deep dive, it really underscores a tough truth, I think.
Which is?
That even when you're an expert, even when the task is routine, the truly unforeseeable can just happen, despite everything.
It leaves you with a pretty potent thought, doesn't it?
Go on.
Well, if an 83-year-old farmer, lifetime of experience doing a standard job, faces a fatal accident deemed unforeseeable, with no fault found in his methods.
Yeah.
What does that really tell us about the limits of human foresight, of our control, even in places we think we understand inside out, like a farm for a farmer?
It makes you question how we view risk everywhere, not just farming.
Exactly. In any field where we rely heavily on experience, how much is truly under our control and how much is just chance? Makes you think.
Should there be stricter safety regulations when dealing with livestock, especially for elderly farmers? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.